Welcome everyone. This is my second video for today. I'm Eve and this is my channel, Social Anxiety Butterfly. If you're just watching, if this is the first video that you're watching of me, basically this is a channel where hopefully people that have social anxiety, general anxiety, panic disorder, depression can come here and watch some of my videos and maybe relate to some of the things that I'm saying. In this video, I'm going to focus on panic attacks. I haven't been having panic attacks for that many years. I would say maybe in the last, I don't know, 2-3 years, I've started having panic attacks. My first one was my husband and I were on our way home from town, and the first thing I noticed was how deeply, intensely hot I was getting. I had a hat on, I just ripped it off, and then I was just instantly sweating a lot. And then my heart just hammered. I thought I was gonna, I thought I was having a heart attack. And I told him to turn around and take me to the hospital. And I went to the ER, and I told the lady, I'm like, I think I'm having a heart attack, because I never experienced that before. So, of course, I didn't, I never would have thought in a million years. It didn't even cross my mind, panic attack. I thought, I hadn't had one in my life thus far. But there it is. So anyways, I'm in the triage part or whatever, where they, take your blood pressure, whatever. And in that room, they were trying to hook up this, to do a EKG or whatever. And I was my whole body was sweating so much that, they were having a hard time putting those sticker lead things on me and having them stick, and they finally got it. And, of course, yeah, my heart was beating fast, but it, I guess whatever signs they look for that you're having a heart attack, they weren't there. But from there, they took me back to a room, because I just kept, I don't know, it was the only way that I can describe them is having rolling panic attacks. The first one I had was the worst that day. But then maybe, I'd come down from that one would stop. And then minutes later, I'd have another one. And then that would go away, and then minutes later, I'd have another one, and that would go away. And I was in the room that I was in, obviously they had me hooked up to, a monitor that monitors your heart rate and your respirations and, your oxygen levels and all that good stuff. And my husband was sitting right next to me, of course. And I would be like, yep, another one's coming on. And he's like, he's like, do you want me to call your parents? I'm like, yeah, because I thought I was dying that day. And this nurse came in. I don't get people sometimes. I really don't. This nurse came in, and she was she just happened to be in the room when I was having another one, and she could see that my heart rate was spiking on the monitor. And she says to me, she's like, if you don't quit this, we're going to have to give you some medication to slow your heart down. Why I'll never understand why she said it that way. I'll never, it was like I was doing this on purpose and I better knock it off, or something. Like, it was just so weird to me. I don't know. No idea. I have no idea what made her even want to say something like that to me in that way. They asked me, I don't do drugs. I, haven't done this and that. They asked me all these questions and I'm like, no, no, no. But whatever. And that really, what that nurse, how she said it to me and what she said really stuck out to me, because here I am thinking I'm going to die and she's like, kind of like scolding me. It felt like, I don't know, but whatever. So nurse, if you're watching, that was pretty lame of you. Okay, so anyways, my parents arrive. Okay, fast forward, my parents get there. I'm still having like these, it's almost like, kind of like, my first one was like the big earthquake, panic attack is the only way I can explain this. And then all the ones that came after that one that day were not as severe, and I think of them kind of like aftershocks, I guess is a good way to, they were less intense than the first one, but they were still scary, What brought on my panic attack? Honestly, that day, I don't even remember what the hell I was thinking about in the truck on our way home. Like, my husband and I, we never, hardly ever fight. We get along so wonderfully, and so it's not, we weren't fighting or, having, whatever. And honestly, nothing really, I don't know why. Of all days and all times it happened then, but it did. And I really don't dwell on why it happened, because what's the point? I mean, it did, and whatever. Now I have to deal with it. But towards the end of my hospital visit, my dad had mentioned, well, I heard him say panic attack, and as soon as he said it, I like dismissed it. Like, no, I don't have panic attacks. What, crazy? No, I'm freaking, whatever's going on. I was like, no way. And, I calmed down enough for them to discharge me from the hospital, or, whatever. I didn't stay the night or anything. And when I got home, if you've ever had a panic attack, they're friggin' exhausting, and it's like, it just takes everything out of you. So I just went and laid on the couch, and I had my phone with me, and I'm just like, just for the fun of it, I'm gonna Google panic attack symptoms. And yeah, of course, like every friggin' symptom, basically, I was having, and I'm like, and in a way, it was kind of like a relief, because, okay, I wasn't having a heart attack, and there's probably really nothing wrong with my heart at all. But at the same time, it's just like, great, now this is another thing I have to deal with. It's like, I no one needs a friggin' panic attack, but, it's just like, it's the last thing I friggin' need to, deal with. But, and then, okay, so I basically just accepted the fact that, okay, I have this panic disorder now, because I, just would get panic attacks a lot. And it's so weird. And only someone who has panic attacks is going to understand this, but it's like, the first one is no different than your 200th one. In that moment, at least for me, maybe other people don't feel this way, but I feel this way. In that moment, you think that you're going to die. You think you're having a heart attack. And like I say, and I say the 200th one because it's just like, you would think like, okay, surely by like your 20th panic attack, you know that it's a panic attack and you're not gonna die. You would think that, and maybe some people can think that, but you want to know what I always think is like, I know I have panic disorder, but something doesn't feel right this time. I think this is the time where it's something else, something other than panic attack. That goes on in my head every single time I have one. And like the dumbest things can like spark a panic attack. Like, oh, am I like breathing weird? Like, I'll just like all of a sudden think like, oh, did my heart just like do something weird? Or like, and that's all it takes. That's all it really takes. It's just like stupid. But whatever. And I don't know. I don't even really have a whole lot to say about panic attacks except for they suck majorly. And at least for me, they're not really getting any easier to deal with because it's a crappy feeling going through that, and it's not pleasant. Because what your body's doing and what my body's doing in my mind is like getting ready to just say, okay, I've had enough, done, quit, dead. So, I don't know. But I would like to say that, at least for me, like, it is getting like easier and easier every time I have a panic attack. No, it's like, it sucks every damn time. So, I don't know. And I hate to be a, big old downer in this video, but panic attacks is like rarely, like I can poke fun at some of the other stuff that I have, but panic attacks are in a whole different category because it just feels, it's too real. It's like emergency, it's just like, my whole, nothing else exists except for what my body's doing at that moment. There could be like, I don't even, like, that's the only thing that exists at that moment because, trust me, people, if you're going through that, you're not going to be able to think or care about anything else until that feeling goes away. It's like, I don't know. And like I said, even knowing, that you can sit there and tell yourself, oh, this is just a panic attack, but who friggin' cares because it still sucks. It doesn't feel any better knowing that if you know that you're having a panic attack. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so maybe in that moment that, okay, I'm not having a heart attack. You can tell yourself that, but it still sucks. It does. But anyways, I feel like this video is just like, oh, down in the dumps. But whatever, it has to be talked about and whatever. So, okay, in the comment section below, if you have had a panic attack before, did you, for your very first one, go to the hospital because you thought you were having a heart attack? I would love to know that. Or like the, emergency room. So anyways, yeah, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.